Hello and welcome back to Star Citizen. My name is Evenlease, and today on 10 Minutes More or Less Ship Review, right behind me, the Robert Space Industries Perseus. Let's go ahead and take a look. All right, welcome back to another review of the RSI Perseus. The last time I did this ship's review, it was when it first came out, so a lot has changed. Thank you, SerithOmega, for making this ship of the month for you and your Patreon support. Truly phenomenal, and I really do appreciate it. It's a fantastic ship, and we're going to have a ton of fun taking a look at it. Thank you, WinRAR42, RC the Vixen, Shadow 2, Gimme the Soup, What124, SerithOmega, Zane19, and that dumb Warlock for joining me on today's review of the Perseus. Now, taking a look at this ship, it is a large patrol gunship and is priced at $800 standalone when you were to buy it on the Pledge Store when it's available. Now, it's not available to purchase in-game yet, and it's kind of difficult to obtain otherwise because it's got a hefty price tag, but it's definitely got a reason for that price tag. It outputs a phenomenal amount of damage, which we'll get to in just a moment. You do have 38-minute claim time with a 9-minute and 30-second expedited claim time, allowing you to get back out there not so fast. It's got a little bit of time on it, and that's because this thing is almost, and I would say kind of, well, not even close, honestly. I was going to say it's kind of close to a capital in size, but honestly, it's because of the damage output and what this ship can bring to you and the verse out there, allowing you to do quite a bit. And you're going to ask, what can you do with this ship? Well, you can do combat, whether it's PvE or PvP. You can do both, and you can do it phenomenally as long as you have a crew. If you're just a pilot, you are not going to have too much luck because you only have 2 guns under your control, and neither of them are big. Now, if you're taking a look at this from a perspective of PvP, you can definitely do that, and actually gives you quite the advantage in some fights, depending on what you're out there doing. Otherwise, it is really good at just running about as a, A to B ship if you really want to spend $800 to run about A to B, and then it does have a good amount of cargo space on it. There's no medical bed or nothing like that, so you don't expect to make this an actual daily in regards to keeping you alive and sustained without any sort of food generation yet. Now, for the pilot, it does have 1,013 burst damage per second due to the 2 size 3 Mantis GT220s on the roof. Now, that gun is not in the pilot's control if the seats of the bridge are occupied. So with that in mind, if you want that under the pilot's control, just don't occupy the co-pilot seat or you'll lose control of that. Now, the pilot also has 20 size 5 Reaper 5 torpedoes, allowing it to dish out quite a bit of torpedo damage, which is pretty cool when they work. And then if you're looking at the actual burst damage per second of every other gun on this ship, you have 22,040 burst damage per second on all the turrets combined due to the 6 size 3 Mantis GT220s and the 4 size 8 Medusa cannons. Now, that's 2 turret positions with 2 barrels each. So there's 4 Medusa cannons on here, and they are size 8, dishing out a massive amount of damage, allowing you to go behind any sort of capital ship and disable their engines, aim for the components, and take out whatever you need in a pretty quick manner, honestly, if you go undisturbed. Now, it's pretty hard to go undisturbed as you are a very big target, and typically, if you enter into a fight, whether it's PvP or PvE, you are going to be noticed very fast, honestly. You'll be noticed very fast just because of your EM rating, your cross-section, your IR ratings. They are all pretty much through the roof, allowing you to be seen pretty quickly. Now, you also have 6 PDCs on this ship, giving you a little bit of support, anti-missile, anti-missile, anti-torpedo, and anti-shields of fighters out there, even though the PDCs really don't do anything to ships anymore because of the new armor gate. So that just means that you're focusing on the torpedoes, missiles, and shields, unless you have the torrents on there. If you were to swap out the torrents on this ship, then you could maybe do a little bit of something to certain fighters, or the missile PDCs, allowing you to do even more so, and especially now that the missile PDCs actually rearm on repair and rearm on the pad, which is really cool. And I'm having a lot of fun with the missile PDCs. I actually enjoy them when they work. Now, looking at the defensive nature of the ship, you do have 264,000 quadrant shield, which is a very big amount. Now, this is just, of course, all stock stats, right? So you'll probably change out the weapons. You'll probably change out the shield generator. You'll change out a lot of these things that help boost these things up even further, allowing you to do even more. But starting off stock, 264,000 quadrant shield is a phenomenal amount. And then if you're looking at the ship's armor, you have 60,840 ship armor with a 132 deflection physical and a 106 deflection energy weapon. So that pretty much means that any small arms isn't going to affect you unless they're cannons or potentially like neutron weapons, which you have to be careful about. If that alpha damage goes over that number, that means they'll be able to damage you. Now, if you lose your armor on this ship, then of course that damage gate goes away. Now, if you're looking at the ship's overall health pool, you have 389,204 ship HP, allowing you to take quite a beating before you honestly lose the ship altogether. But again, once you lose your shield and your armor, it's all about the component hunt at that time, and you'll lose your components somewhat quickly if they know where to focus it. And with this ship, most of the components, and I don't say all of them because it's only most of them, are located at the rear, which we'll take a look at here in a moment. Now, you do have a top SCM speed of 150 with a top forward boost of 350 and backwards boost of 160 and a top nav speed of 1050. It's a pretty decent speed ship. There has been quite a few times fighting this ship or fighting with this ship that it is quite annoyingly fast and maneuverable, even more than it should be, because of the mass behind this ship means that it shouldn't move the way it does. It's allowed to really just get into quantum or nav mode very easily and kind of slingshot back and forth, getting in and outside of engagement ranges when it honestly shouldn't be able to do it as easily as this thing does, but it does make it quite powerful at the current time. We might see some, changes to its speed or its maneuverability, or maybe the quantum changes in the future might prevent ships of this size from doing tactics like that, which I'm personally hoping for, because ships with bigger mass like this shouldn't be able to kind of slingshot like that and do all these weird maneuvers that you would see with a fighter or a medium or a heavy fighter. Hopefully we'll see that, but as of right now, those speeds are really decent for this type of ship, with a pitch yaw roll of 15, 15, 25, a boosted 23, 23, 50. Now those numbers seem low, but I promise you, in the right hands, you can make this thing actually quite maneuverable, especially if you learn the tactics of kind of run and gun, allowing you to hit your target, kind of get into nav mode, run a little bit, and then whip around and do it again. This thing is quite nasty. Now you also have 50 flares and 20 decoys, so allowing you to go out there and, shoot a couple flares off, couple countermeasures, right? They are somewhat usable, of course, with missiles no longer really doing too much damage to components. Sometimes they can damage things as long as the armor is no longer there. I've seen a couple ships get destroyed just based purely off missile damage, but it is a lot less common now. Honestly, missiles are so hit and miss right now, quite literally, that as long as you just set your flares to the proper amount, you'll be fine. Now, you do have a total SCU of 400 hydrogen fuel and 7 SCU of quantum fuel, meaning that you'll be able to get around the verse wherever you want to go, no problem at all. In atmosphere, out of atmosphere, quantum traveling, you're not going to have any issues. You're probably gonna have to rearm your guns once in a while anyways, especially if you keep it as a ballistics package, which with a ship like this, I assume you would, so you don't kill your power systems. If you put lasers on the Medusas, like not the cannons areas, you can't swap out the cannons, those are bespoke, but the guns on top or the guns all over, like on the turrets, if you switch those to lasers of any sort, you take away a lot of your power, which honestly isn't always a good thing, especially if you need it for your engines, shields, cooling, anything like that. It's probably not something you want to do. So something like a ballistic cannon, something like ballistic repeaters or something would be good to have, especially since with the Medusas, you strip armor really fast. So not something you should be worrying about. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the interior of the Perseus. Now, it's been a little while since we reviewed it. Only a few things have changed, like the addition of basketballs, but it does have 2 access points from the ground, your cargo bay and your main elevator. Now, you do have a total of 96 SCU of cargo on that elevator right now that I'm dropping down, so let's go ahead and see it come all the way down to the ground. And yes, you can fit a variety of ground vehicles back here, but nothing like a Storm or a talk, as it's too, short to the ground here. As you can see, when standing here, you don't have much headspace. Not much headspace at all, so you'll be able to fit things like a Cyclone or an ROC or the brand new UTVs with no issues. And it holds a 96 SCU of cargo and probably a little bit more off-grid, but it's never really recommended to get used to the off-grid antics, as someday the mass and weight of that probably will be not so good if it's not on grid. Now we'll go ahead and take the main way up, which is the elevator right here if you're not taking that cargo grid. Once you are on the floor here, there are 3 floors to this ship, and surprisingly, you'd look at this ship and you'd be like, wow, there's 3 floors? Yeah, one here, one there, and then there's one right above that leads you to the bridge. From here though, this is the drop-down cargo bay, and then you have 2 docking collars, one on the right, one on the left, right and left, and this is how you typically get set up at stations and stuff. Anytime you go to set down at a station, it never gives you a hangar. It always gives you a docking port, and this is where that would be. Now in this main area, let's go ahead and shut the door here. Let's go ahead and lift. There we go. Looking good. I like the look of it and everything. It's fantastic. You have a couple basketballs here. Usually there's 3 of them. Well, we've been playing a little b-ball, right? But those basketballs can be used for the court when it is dropped down, which I'll show you here in just a second. And you have your torpedo loading here as well, and a fire extinguisher. Now, if we take a look, this is where your torpedoes go. We've fired off quite a few of them, but typically stock, it's just these racks here, and you can have extras loaded here, 5 and 5. And that is the same on this side right on over here, allowing you to have quite a bit of torpedo storage. Right now, I don't really know. The lights in this game are having some sort of funny issue where you'll have red blinking lights, the ship's at 100%. If you just power down, it does a lot of funny things, but as you can see, it's got great lighting in these down-powered states, and then the emergency lighting looks fantastic, but I don't think there should be a reason for it currently. And then you have a ladder here that takes you to that next deck if you wanted to, or if you were to continue through this door here, you would go into where you have a emergency ladder. You can use this to go up to floor 2 or 3. You have a nice relay station here. Right behind me, you do have some of your components, so we can go ahead and open this up. This would just be where some of the components would sit, like a big old battery, which we do not have right now, and the gravity generator, which again, we do not have right now. We'll go ahead and push past these, and this is the first turret access point for the lower Medusa cannon right here on this floor. It is pretty nice. You go ahead and just enter in and have a great time firing those big old size 8s. And here's the main elevator, so we'll go ahead and call that and take it right on up to floor number 2, which surprisingly on the Perseus, the elevator is quite quick. Unlike the Polaris, where it takes 3 years to, have the elevator go anywhere, this elevator takes you there in quite quick fashion. Now, if you're gonna make a left turn, this takes you to engineering. Of course, the lighting in these ships are having some fun times. Another fire extinguisher. If we take a left turn, it takes you to the crew quarters. When you're in the crew quarters, if you don't have the emergency lighting going all sorts of bonkers, this is where your crew would be. 2, 4, 6 bunks, with each one of them having their own storage locker. You go ahead and open that up. It has 1 million micro SCU in each one of them, which is honestly phenomenal. You have a nice little bench here. You have a nice toilet access area here. Go ahead and open that up, and you can go ahead and use the bathroom with a nice mirror. Hello. And then you have a nice little shower right above. So you drop one, you wash off, you're good to go, right? Another bench right over here, and then entering this door will lead you into the armory of the ship, where you can place a number of weapons, including special weapons like the boom tube, handguns, all sorts of different ones, including multi-tools, and you have a lot of them. And then you have suit lockers, 6 of them all in total. And then if we make our way out of the crew quarters, I just love how the lighting looks. It's just like, why not have an emergency? Why not? Then we make our way into the habitation area where the crew will be to go ahead and eat, drink, take care of themselves, relax after a long day, and you have a nice pool table. You have a pool table right here. You have a nice little seating area right here. You can go ahead and sit down and eat your food, and it looks quite nice. And it looks like we're currently playing a bit of bowling here instead of pool, but hey, what can you do? It is what we have at the current time. If once we get the pool sticks and the balls we can hit, this would be a fantastic time. And then there's another bench area right behind Give Me the Soup right there, and another bench over here looking really fantastic, and some areas to go ahead and store your food. It's like a nice little pantry system with your fridge, so a little pantry, a little fridge. When you make any sort of maneuvers, everything is going to go everywhere, but this kitchen looks fantastic. You'll be able to make your food. You have a nice microwave, little area for cups, straws, everything. It is phenomenal. Then if you make your way back onto the main deck here and into engineering, as you can see, this is where you'll take care of the ship. You'll have your power plants, you'll have your shield generators, you'll have even more relays and all sorts of different things like radar, avionics, life support, relays, all sorts of different relays, including an engineering terminal. Now, if we're to make our way back through this floor here, and let's head to the front. As you can see, we got the elevator and the ladder here, and then you got nice escape pods, looking good. And then if you make your way around, you have that ladder access point from the first floor. And then if you come back this way, you do have another fire extinguisher. And then if you make your way over here, another component access point. Go ahead and open that up. And here's one of your big old coolers looking good. Another relay station here. Walk on over to this side, open it up, and you have yourself another power plant. So both of them aren't in the same spot, which is nice. One's over here, one's at the back, allowing you a little bit more safety and you don't lose them all at the same time. Now, if you go ahead and hit the button here that says open and go ahead and make it like basketball court. Look at that. You can go ahead and play some basketball. You grab a basketball over there and go ahead and toss it up and hopefully have a great time. Or you can go ahead and drop down the cargo ramp from here. Oh, I like that. Being able to drop it down from this point is really cool. I wish more ships had access points in certain areas that allowed you to open and close the ramps, including in your Moby Glass. Wouldn't that just be nice? We'll go ahead and bring that right back on up and make our way to the next room here. In here, you got two more areas to escape, as well as the area that would have your torpedo bays. You have an engineering terminal to your left, and then to your right, you have your torpedo control station, but it's really not needed because you can control these torpedoes from the pilot seat, but this is one of the control stations for the Perseus, allowing you to do so. Then if you open up one of these over here, you have more shields and another relay. We just got relays all over this ship. And then on this side over here, another battery spot, but no battery. Another fire extinguisher. And then right here is the Top Gun Medusa turret. So you'd go ahead and get in there. It would send you right on up and you'd take a look. Now here in just a moment, we are going to have some footage of some PvE as well as from my live stream that I had the other day. And thank you for everybody that joined me. I do stream here on YouTube as well as Twitch. So make sure you're out there and you join me and have a great time. It's always a lot of fun. Now let's take this ladder to the very top floor, which is where the pilot's deck is, including the captain's quarters. So we're up here and here is another entrance on this ship. It's a little hidden away, but you press the open button there. You go ahead and press the open button here, and it is a nice access point to the bridge. So, I mean, I've gotten into a couple Perseuses this way, typically to borrow them, you know, when they're left over at certain areas, but it is pretty cool. So you go ahead and close this on up, and then you can go ahead and turn around and head towards the captain's quarters. You have a bunch of escape pods all around, which is good. And then in the captain's quarters, of course, you have SerithOmega. Thank you again for the Patreon support. And then you have a bunch of shelving over there, shelving over here. You have a nice rifle access, handguns. You have a nice little bed, including storage right above it. You can go ahead and enter that with another million micro SCU, looking fantastic. A personal toilet and shower area, which is always good to have. Even with this, oh, look, and if I'm gonna pull out my gun, I'm gonna zoom in. Oh my goodness, this bathroom looks fantastic. Ooh, is that a piece of candy? And there you go. You have a nice little bathroom for the captain here with a toilet access here. We'll go ahead and open it for all those toilet enjoyers. Ooh, okay. Go ahead and close this up. And a suit locker with a nice little bench area here to sit down. Now, the cool thing is while you're here in this area, there is a camera that looks right on out past that door. You can open, close the door. You can lock it, not allowing anybody in. So we'll go ahead and open it and head to the main area, the bridge, where you'll go ahead and sit down with two crewmates. The two crewmates that enter here do have control over the top gun on the top as well as the gun on the bottom. So not the Medusas, but your GT-220s, left and right. The pilot sits center here, which is really nice. And then you have a nice little weapons locker right here for the crew, of course, just in case you have an emergency. You have quick access to weapons instead of trying to run about and find guns somewhere on this ship. And then over here, of course, another fire extinguisher and some more relays. So with that, we'll go ahead and hop into the pilot seat and take a look at some PvE as well as some of the footage from our PvP fights. Let's take a look. Engines. Take off. Collision alert. Landing gear raised. Target acquired. angle. Top turret no angle. Okay, angle achieved.
What's your max bid?
I don't know. Right now we're good. Watch out, he's trying to ram. He's going in for the ram.
Hey, my backside shield Omega. It's his shield.
Good EMP, good EMP.
He's trying to run into us 100%.
He's comp dead. All right, as you can see, this thing has no problem performing in PvE or even PvP. You just gotta, of course, have experience with it. The guns do have certain angles that if you want both Medusas on one target, you have to have the ship in a certain orientation. If you don't have the ship in that orientation, of course, you're only gonna be able to hit the target with one Medusa or one set of Medusa cannons, which, I mean, that limits your firepower, right? You don't want to do that. So when you're attacking a big target, try to find that sweet spot. It's typically by the the bars on the side of the windows there, maybe a little bit off, but try to find that sweet spot where both cannons can lay into that enemy target and you'll be fantastic. With that and everything that this ship offers, I think it's probably one of RSI's best offerings out there, and there are a lot of RSI ships out there that are phenomenal. The Hermes, the Polaris, and so many more that are coming and that are probably going to get reworked, like the Constellations, that this ship still retains that 98 out of 100 score. Even with this armor and the armor gating being not as much as you would figure it would be given the style of this ship, it still has a phenomenal score because it's heading in the right direction with the armor gating. It's heading in the right direction with what it's supposed to be able to do and the amount of a punch that it's supposed to take while also giving one, right? Now, let me know what you think of the Perseus down in the comments below, and thank you for watching this updated review of the RSI Perseus with the armor added, the armor gate, the difference in many of the different stats from its initial release. Thank you for being here. Thank you again to SerithOmega, and thank you to everybody for watching and supporting the channel. You guys are all truly phenomenal, and I appreciate every single one of you. Make sure you enter into the giveaway that's going on right now for the whole B. Check out my YouTube channel and look for that video. It's probably one of the more recent ones, and thank you for being here. I'll see you all in the next one. Let me tell you something real quick. When you see me looking around in game, that's not a trick, that's beam eye tracking doing the work. Its newest version is now in beta and completely removes the need for open track, giving you seamless integration between the software and the game. It's easy to set up, runs clean, and you can use it with a webcam, iPhone, or Android device. And it's only $30. One program, less overhead, smoother tracking. Grab beam eye tracking through the link below to support the developer directly and stop running multiple apps when you want to feel more immersed in what you're doing. If you're building a new PC, go through longshipindustries.com, a veteran-owned mom-and-pop business that takes pride in every single build. He built my personal rig, which you can actually see featured on the website. The care, warranty, and customer support are top tier. Trust Longship Industries for your next build.